So now that we have our shadows blocked in, we're going to move on to actually using our colored pencils. With colored pencils, you want to start with the shadows first and then work your way to the highlighted areas. It's always easier to make something darker than it is to lighten something up. So when I look at the highlighted areas, like the area right above this little crease over here and some of the areas over here, I'm going to ignore those spaces until the very last second. So the crunch bar mainly is blue. So I have gotten all of the blue looking colored pencils out. I've also gotten out a gray, a white, a brown, which is a very dark color, the darkest blue, and also the darkest purple. The darkest purple will help us build those shadows. For this, we are not going to be using black. You may use black if you're doing like a brown one, because that shaded area is just really, really, really dark. But normally in a typical colored pencil situation, we want to stay away from black because it really denses up the composition. When we use just light colors or darker colors in general that are not black, it creates a more realistic appearance, and that's what we're going for. So I'm going to start off by just using the darkest colored pencils. So I'm going to be using my dark blue, my purple, and my brown. Say you are doing like the yellow, you'd be using the brown, obviously. That is like the darker yellow almost. But you can also be using some darker red tones, some darker blue tones, some darker purple tones to just help you deepen that shadow. And it will be a little bit harder, more challenging with the yellow, just because you do have more texture in there. But I'm going to be doing the blue. And you're just going to apply this to any candy that you did choose. So I'm going to go in with the dark blue first. And I'm going to just start lightly layering, very lightly. My pencil is barely touching my paper. Layering the area in the shadows. I know that I have a shadow over here because I blocked it in, and it goes up a little bit, and I am just going to do just a very light layer first with the darkest color. You're not going to use heavy pressure for a while. When you use heavy pressure, it's called varnishing, and that's one of the final steps actually. So for this entire first step of this process, you're just going to be using a very light pencil touch. We're going to be layering the colors, the darkest colors, into the most shaded areas in the composition. After that, then we will start to focus on the mid-tones. So the mid-tones are just like the general blue areas, nothing that's really light, but nothing that's really overtly dark too. And I'm just going to be doing my blue. So I have my darkest tones blocked in. I went through all of my colored pencils, the blue, the purple, and the brown. I'm going to put the purple and the brown away, and then now I'm just going to start focusing on my base color itself. So I'm going to go in with my darkest shade and really just solidify my shadows, and then in the next video we will talk about creating those mid-tones and working our way through that. But now you're just going to take the base color. The base color is the color that you see, you associate what you see with. So I look at the Crunch Bar, I think blue. Look at the milk chocolate, I think red. Reese's, orange. The base color is just, you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, that's what that is, without the shading and everything. I'm just going to go in with my darkest base color right now. So this is the darkest blue that I have, and I'm going to just solidify the shadows in a little bit more, really make them that nice blue tone, that nice blue shadow that we're looking for. And I'm also going to focus on the edge details of that nice zigzag.